And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. And today we're talking about Valorant. Yes, this is technically a free-to-play game. We talk about free-to-play games here, so call it before you download. I don't know. It's our series, man. Valorant is a big thing, and we figured we'd have to acknowledge it. It saw its full 1.0 release on PC on June 2nd, and we dove in with pretty much no prior experience. So I want to be very clear here. I'll let you know what the game is, how it all goes down, and some personal opinion, but this is a bit out of the gameranx team's realm because it's a game with a focus on highly competitive esports stuff. It's like in a whole different gaming world from ours here. So like, we're not gonna blow smoke up your butts and pretend like we're champs or anything. You know, this gameplay is mine and a lot of Andrew's as well on the team because he's much better than me, clearly. Valorant is a strictly competitive multiplayer PC first-person shooter. It has taken a lot of the world by storm because of its highly publicized pre-release access and just dominating Twitch. And it's from Riot Games, the folks behind League of Legends. So yeah, I mean, like, enough said, at least for a lot of fans. Honestly, describing the game is extremely straightforward. The main mode, it's like a team of 5 versus a team of 5. One team on the offensive to break through and plant a bomb, the other team to defend and possibly defuse the bomb in quick, fast-paced rounds. You switch sides through it, and it's first to 13. And these matches go on for quite a while sometimes. And after each round, by the way, you get credits. So you'll always get some, but how much you get depends on your performance. You then have a small period of time before the next round starts to spend this in-match cash on weapons, armor, and limited use abilities. Oh, and in gameplay, there are spray paint tags. So does that all sound a lot like Counter-Strike? Yes, it absolutely is. You know, the movement of the rounds, the pinpoint accuracy you need, the quick deaths, the turn the corner, an instant headshot, pre-aiming, all of that stuff is here. All of that familiar feel, that CSGO feel is here. You know, it's quick, it's brutal, sometimes you get mad, but the gameplay loop can be pretty satisfying. But it's not just like completely derivative. The other big factor is it's got elements of a hero shooter, and it mixes those concepts fairly creatively with the match foundations and rules and stuff. So you choose a hero character or an agent, these characters that come from all over the world and the near future in this realm. They fall roughly into 4 different classes. There's Duelist, Initiator, Sentinel, and Controller. Each is tailored to do something a little bit different on the field, like hold back and support, initiate first, or just power through conflict. The differences seem pretty subtle at first and are definitely more for the competitive players looking to play extremely perfectly and maxed out, but it's there and it seems pretty solid, you know, balanced well enough, at least from what I can see, just jumping in the first 2 days or so. Of course, this is going to evolve. This is an ongoing game. And some of the designs of the characters are pretty cool, and there are some hilarious voice lines, but it's all pretty hit or miss for me. Some I like quite a bit, like Phoenix, Cypher, and Breach, while some are completely forgettable. I don't know. It's hard with so many multiplayer games that have rosters of specific heroes. You know, how do you make them memorable? I wish these were a bit more memorable, you know, but maybe the people playing this type of game don't even really care about the characters or how cute or lovable they are. I don't know. What they can do in the field, though, is pretty awesome. So each character has a standard ability they can use each round, and they all vary very wildly. Airdrop in smoke bombs to obscure the enemy's sight and give you cover, cover the ground in flames so an enemy can pass through a lane slower or getting hurt. There's like a dash, a bolt that can identify the entire team for you in a vicinity, healing orbs, revivals, and much more. These are all pretty creative and fun to learn how to use in the right situation, and it instantly gives the game a bit more nuance, you know, a deeper level to learn. And I think that's where a lot of the appeal is. Characters also have a big, powerful ult that you can use that it builds up over time from you doing things and collecting these orbs in the world. Some are more strategic than others, some shoot through walls, some are massive blasts. You can teleport across the map with one guy, but all of them take a minute or two to learn and just like how to use them properly and in the right scenarios. What I also really enjoy is that in the weapon purchase screen, you can purchase a few mapped limited use abilities, and you can buy more of them and refill them every round if you want. And each character has different ones specific to them. This stuff is really cool. I just like how each of those little abilities that you can buy makes each character feel specifically different. Combine all of the abilities, and that's where Valorant does feel really unique. Like, you can say, it's Overwatch character stuff in CSGO gameplay. But at least the abilities and the character differences really do help make it feel at least somewhat fresh. Blocking off a lane from the enemy team is really fun. Suddenly, a wall of ice or fire slows their approach for just a couple of crucial seconds, or maybe covers your ass. Coordinating a fire flashbang flare thing with a cloud of smoke and maybe a good perfectly timed headshot, that is all where the appeal is, when it really is moving good. Now, there is room for tons of teamwork and coordination here. Riot totally pushes it on you when you first fire up the game. I had myself and Andrew playing, and using our abilities in tandem fine, but you might see a lot of chaos on your screen right now as you're watching, just because it's the early days of the game, and frankly, we got matched up with a lot of people like us who were still learning the game, and a lot of people who surprisingly didn't have mics and it just didn't feel like using the in-game tagging or communication stuff, so things would often fall apart. But the few matches where there was good communication, you could see how this game can really shine in a good competitive team scene. Strategically choosing proper lanes and approaches, coordinating your abilities to work together and block off routes, or push back the team, or even corner them, sometimes can be really satisfying when it's all flowing. I do wish the guns were more exciting though. I just want a bit more of a thrill to some of them, maybe a little more iconic stuff, like there's the AK, there's the pistol, the revolver, the submachine gun, there's 2 sniper rifles, one obviously being the bigger, badder one that costs more. Some of them have some really great sound design, like the loud crack of a sniper, but the weapons, like some of the characters, are kind of forgettable, at least for me personally. But what I do like is scooping up weapons in the earlier parts of the game and planning how your team spends. Maybe one person spends on one thing and another person spends on another thing, or maybe gives another player something else. That stuff, that communication, that teamwork, to circle back, is really great. And the guns, as much as they are a little forgettable, they do get better if you got skins for them. The skins are pretty cool and at least make the guns look a little better. You can unlock special skins and then work through unlocking different variants for them, as well as, of course, these little add-on buddies that are basically keychains for your guns. Now, the gun skins, this is where the free-to-play stuff comes in. You can purchase weapon skins with an in-game store currency that you get for your real hard-earned money. There's Valorant points and Radianite, which are used for different things. It's nothing super gross or egregious. It's just typical free-to-play style stuff. There's also a battle pass, which you can buy into or just play some of it if that's your thing. That's your thing. But overall, there's a good amount of progression. There's agents to work through unlocking, like free agents. There's player cards that are kind of like your little ID thing. And then there's the weapon skins. All of that to keep you interested, along with keeping track of all your matches in a very nice, handy, and clear career menu thing. Honestly, the interface for the whole thing is very well done. Speaking of which, upon launch, we did have very slight issues getting into a game. We had like one issue. And with a game launch as big as this, this anticipated, that's really commendable. Just not having a long queue, props to them. You have Spike Rush, you have unrated and custom game matchmaking you can do, open or closed, just so you know. So I'll say if you straight up love the thrill of the match and the teamwork and the competition for certain types of games, give it a try, since it's free. You might like it. It's not totally my thing, and I also want more. Sometimes it feels a little dead, a little quiet and bland from the graphics and the looks of the maps and just the animations and everything. The maps themselves, though, they're designed incredibly well with some great sight lines and just great corners to pre-aim and also just get domed from, but they just look like standard video game stuff. And this might be another factor that some players just don't care about. They don't care how the levels look. They just care about how they are designed. They're there for the raw gameplay. And it is definitely here in Valorant. It knows what it wants to do. It wants you to play it. I'd love to see more in general, and I assume more is coming. More maps, more modes, more characters, stuff like that. But this Valorant right here is a very good foundation. And like I said earlier, this game is going to massively evolve. and we can't really predict where it's going to go. I think this game does have a bright future. I mean, it's kind of obvious. That's an easy call to make considering it's hugely popular already. But yeah, that's Valorant, and that's a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. We give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. So now we want to hear yours down in the comments. It's free to download and play. You don't need the most intense machine, so you don't really have anything to lose if you do want to try it. So we'd love to hear from you guys if you have jumped in. Maybe you've been playing since the earlier days of it, back when it was first announced. Whatever you think about Valorant, let us know. Let us know your favorite combination of weapon and agent. We'd love to hear that. Anything Valorant down in the comments. Let's talk. If you enjoyed this video though and maybe learned something, clicking the like button's the best way you can help us out. And if you're new, maybe consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out new videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.